Good afternoon, Namibia, and welcome to your daily lunchtime show, where we get to catch up on current events and headlines that are in the news. My name is Priska Agnolo, and thank you so much for joining us today on this beautiful Monday afternoon. We start off the show heading straight into our video news segment, and for our first story. Namibia Media Holdings has launched a new viewing platform called OneUp2, where you can find all our programs in one spot. Earlier today, Company Chief Executive Albi Botha spoke to Aina Kweyo on Africa Good Morning about the program.
It's all about OneUp2.
So OneUp2 is a new platform. It's 101up2.com. And it's a platform where you can follow all our daily live streaming. We officially launched it this morning at 7 with Africa Good Morning. And it allows viewers to go to this platform and to follow us daily live. We will continue to be on social media platforms, as we all know, but this platform allows you to know that everything is in one place.
All right, that is fantastic. We are so glad that it's being launched on Africa Good Morning. That means we've made it. Did the pandemic have anything to do with this initiative?
Not really. I think it was a platform that we were always going to create in 4 or 5 years ago already. What the pandemic did, though, is force us to be a lot faster. Yeah. In doing what we needed to do. And more importantly, I think the pandemic, unfortunately, I must say, showed that how misinformation can make it difficult to understand what is the truth.
Yes.
And what that forced us to do was to launch this platform about 6 months earlier than we would have initially, because we saw all of this misinformation taking place.
Yeah, so this initiative has been in the process for a long time. Where will the content for this channel come from?
So I'm very proud that through our daily channels we have over 18 shows, and this has allowed us to create content of over 6-7 hours a day. What this platform will do is stream this live content that we have already. And we will, of course, grow on this content. There's a couple of very interesting initiatives, one of them being OneUp2, the show itself. And I will not elaborate too much right now, but I'm very excited about the show itself called OneUp2.
Ushingua Uyanda is a member of the mitigation group established by young people who aim to put their efforts together to help in the fight against COVID-19 in the community. Amongst other efforts, the group has independently raised over 70,000 Namibian dollars, which they dedicated to assist in the fight against COVID-19.
A mitigation group. So we are a lot, all the youth, even the elders. We came up together looking at how the COVID cases were increasing in our community. So therefore we sat down. So far we opened the group in WhatsApp. So we circulated that, and people, most of them, they were very interested. And we agreed that no, we have to come up with ideas on what can we do to help our community in that COVID issues. So we agreed that okay, can we go and ask for 250 from each member, which will look at the oxygen. We went to the clinic and even tried to make an investigation. We met the nurse there. He told us no, their cylinders are empty, and they're only having the one for electric. So and then we decided that okay, now we are going to assist you on trying to refill the bottles. We made all the procedures. We took the bottles through the ministry to Oshivanda, Orfontein, and then the Orfontein, they carried it in window to refill. So they refilled. So far they are in the process on their way to come. And we also looked at the masks, the gloves, sanitizers, garlics.
And now for our COVID-19 news. On Mondays, your COVID-19 Monitor in NMH at 1 summarizes the latest available data for Namibia. Daily reports reflect a continued flattening of the curve, which supports the relaxation of most restrictions in the country. By Friday, more than 600,000 tests has been processed since the start of the pandemic, with a total number of positive cases standing at more than 119,000. This represents an overall positivity rate of 19.8%, or 2 in every 5. Last week, this ratio dropped below 20% for the first time in almost 2 months, while the average number of new cases reported per day decreased to less than 400. The recovery rate, however, remains at only 80%, largely due to a huge backlog in the clearing of cases in the capital city of Windhoek. The fatality rate increased to 2.56%, but less deaths are being reported. Over the last 7 days, 246 new fatalities were announced, which is 19% less than the 305 deaths reported a week before, and 52% less than the 514 deaths announced for the 7-day cycle before that. By Friday, only 6.6% of the population received a first dose of vaccine, and a mere 2% of people were fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The number of people accommodated in official quarantine facilities declined to less than 3,500, with more than 2,000 exits reported over the last 7 days, compared to 1,412 entries.
I know what I found is bound to be love. It's bound to be
And now we take a look at the front pages of our newspaper dailies. According to Namibian Sun, quoting local analysts, the questionable reappointment of Paulus Noah as chief of the Anti-Corruption Commission amid strong political divisions and public outcry seriously undermines the country's democracy and shows how desperate SWAPO is to protect its waning political support. Republican reports that while the health choices of individuals are respected, the country faces a unique and complex crisis wherein the decisions of individuals have a bearing on the well-being of the greater nation. President Hage Geingob on Friday said during the announcement of the new COVID-19 regulations that the most somber time has arrived for the Namibian nation, adding that the last weeks were extraordinarily difficult with unknown losses of lives. Allgemeine Zeitung also reports that President Hage Geingob has cautioned, while easing COVID-19 measures, Namibians to continue to take care of themselves so as to not contract COVID-19. At the same time, while Germany has recategorized most African countries as variant areas, Namibia and South Africa are now being considered high-risk areas as from the 1st of August 2021. The Namibian reports that the Walvis Bay municipality plans to evict people who live at various dump sites at the town. The affected dump site dwellers have expressed worry about these plans, saying they do not know where to go if removed from their dump site dwellings. New Era quoted Health Minister Dr. Kalumbi Shangula, who warned that healthcare workers who ignore scientific evidence and spread anti-vaccination messages to patients and the public will face prosecution. moving on to the inside pages. Namibian Sun reports that a total of 427,905 Namibians, or 20% of the population, experienced acute or severe food shortages last year. The regions worst affected by food shortages are Kunene, Irongo, Khomas, Ohangwena, Kavango West, Omaheke, and Zambezi. Republican reports that many learners in all of the country's regions have an urgent need for accommodation, which leads many of them to live in unhygienic and unsafe conditions on the school premises because of the long distances between home and school. Under these conditions, learners are exposed to high risks of diseases, sexual exploitation, teenage pregnancies, and substance abuse because they are not under parental supervision. AZ reports that German ambassador to Namibia, Herbert Beck, has presented the Queen Zab Brass Band from Groot-Alp with a donation in the form of brass instruments last week. Maureen Roy accepted the donation worth 110,000 Namibian dollars on behalf of the band. The funds for the purchase of the instruments, including trumpets, trombones, and tubas, were provided by the Goethe Institute, which supports music groups worldwide. The Namibian reports on a leaked police circular which alleges potential threat of tourism to Chinese nationals in the country. The circular has caused an uproar within the Namibian public, which question whether the Chinese were receiving special treatment from the Namibian government. New Era quoted Khomas Governor Laura McLeod-Kashirua, who discouraged Windhoek residents from illegally occupying land, saying such acts will jeopardize service delivery efforts. McLeod-Kashirua told New Era on Saturday that while she acknowledged that land delivery is slow, that should not lead to the grabbing of land. On Friday, scores of residents flocked to Tobias Hainyeko constituency as early as 6 o'clock a.m. to occupy the land. And now on to our Olympics segment. Earlier today, Coach Henk Botha asked Namibian Olympic athlete Christine Mboma about her thoughts on the semi-final race that took place early this morning and which Christine won.
Hi Christine, your first big race, the biggest one of your life, running on an Olympic stadium in an Olympic event and breaking or equal the junior world record for under 20, your personal best. We are waiting for the recovery. How do you feel?
Hello everyone. I feel happy for the junior record and the national record, and I'm just looking forward to do semi-final to see what will happen.
Do you feel any nerves for the semi-final?
Earlier I was feeling nerves, but now I'm okay.
Thank you very much and enjoy your race, and we see you in the final semi-final tonight.
Thank you.
And on that positive note, we have reached the end of today's show. My name is Priska Anyolo, and thank you so much for joining us once again. Do stay tuned for a quick snapshot of the weather, and goodbye.